Good morning. My name is Lakenya Wagers, and I am a member of Team D, which also includes Donna Paul, Sean Sapan, and Joyce Henderson. Now that we have been formally introduced, I will be covering my team's new game idea, which I will also give a brief introduction of the concept of our game, since you will be receiving a more. Our team came up with the game idea of Marvel versus DC. Our new game idea was designed to have a way of finding the world's greatest, whether it be the world's greatest superhero or the world's greatest villain. This gives our audience a chance to be a good versus good, or a good versus bad, or even a bad versus bad, kind of a gaming experience. Since as Marvel and DC are two very big competitors, we feel as if though by combining the two together, we will pull in a lot of new audience members from either side. You have your Batman and your Superman on one end, or maybe even your Spider-Man versus your Superman. You never know. You have Fantastic Four on one end, may want to take on another team like the X-Men. So these two, by bringing in these two very big competitors, it gives us a chance in bringing in a lot of very much needed attention and revenue. Well, thank you for your attention, and on to the next team member.
Hello, my name is Don Paul. I'll be talking about the type of game, the settings, and the characters of this game. The game will be a battle game between the DC comic book heroes and the Marvel comic book heroes. This will be a multiplayer game or a single player game depending on the gamer's choice. It will also be an online multiplayer game. The location of the game will be based on the comic book locations such as Gotham City, Metropolis, Smallville, Marvel book comic locations such as New York City, Los Angeles, or Malibu. Other areas can be outside this universe, such as in Thor, fictional locations based on different universes in Marvel or DC comics. The gamer will be able to choose what character they are. Characters will be starting off with well-known characters such as Superman, Batman, the Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America. Each character will be based on a point system. Not one character will be invincible, such as Superman. They will have certain strengths and weaknesses. Because some superheroes do have weaknesses, such as Superman, um, such as Kryptonite with Superman, the foe will be able to sit there and come across a piece of kryptonite to help them fight Superman, or be able to purchase this item um, to hold on to in case he does run across Superman at a later game. Based on popularity, the games can have add-ons. So there might be a popular comic book hero that we didn't put in there at the beginning, such as Aquaman or Catwoman, and surveys will be done on gaming websites, or we'll have our own website set up to where if the gamers would like to see these characters on a later add-on version, we would sell this add-on version with these characters and maybe other locations. Furthermore, we have plans on looking at grouping these characters together, such as in the Avengers, Fantastic Four, or Justice League for DC Comics, and even X-Men. I hope I answer all the questions that you have, what we talked about with the type of game, the settings, and the different characters of the game. I appreciate your time, and thank you.
Hi, my name's Sean. I'm actually going to be covering what our target market and some of the objectives for our first year after the release for our game are today. So when we're taking a look at the game and we're trying to decide what we wanted to release out into the world and the possible audience that we'd be looking at for this release, a few things came to mind. One of the most important things that you can take a look at, of course, is the audience. So who is it that's going to be playing the game? What type of players are they? And how do we keep those players? So with our game, we chose the characters from Marvel and DC Comics. These characters are known around the world. You really probably couldn't stop anybody on the street today and they not know at least one character, whether that's because of a movie or possibly because they read the comic books. but they're very well known, and this gives us a huge possible audience to work with. To narrow that down just a little bit, we took a look at some things like age. What type of age range do we want to look at for our players? And what we've decided is we want to shoot for a teen rating. This is going to put us at an approximate age of 13 years and older. This will allow us to keep some of the violence, since it is a fighting game, and even a little bit of the gore maybe, so that it's suitable for the players that we have actually downloading the game and enjoying it. And it will keep parents happy as well for some of the younger players. Now, the settings for the game, when we're looking at that, we had a few things in mind that we want to look at as far as our gamers and our target audience. So the settings in the game for difficulty will be able to be set from an easy or a beginner level all the way up to an advanced or an expert. This will help keep the game engaging and challenging for players, whether they're new or return players, and also help attract new customers coming in so that it's not just a simple game they burn through right away and get bored and walk away from. We want to keep it engaging so that we can retain our customers and always attract new ones. The rules for the game are going to be set similar to other fighting style games. So there'll be matches when you're playing. Those matches will be determined by the best out of 2 out of 3 rounds. So similar to a boxing match, if you will. If you lose twice, you lose the match. And from there you can start in on a new match. We're also going to have it so that you can track your level and a leaderboard that can be updated over the web, so people can play and see how their scores are doing compared to other players out there playing in the world. We have planned expansions for the game that will also release new material and new updates, such as characters, possibly even new moves or combinations or unlock of powers for the characters, as well as different settings or backgrounds, such as the cities that they're fighting in. Some of the examples that we brought up before are going to be like New York, popular cities, Gotham, some of the comic book cities. So we look to introduce new settings and backgrounds into that as well. When we're looking at objectives for the game, what is it that we want to achieve during the first year? We had a few things come to mind. First, we're going to make the game available for download so that it's easy for anyone to get onto their device. Now, this purchase is going to require a few things. Of course, the purchase price. In addition to that, it's going to require a registration with an active email and some general user or gamer information. What this information is going to do is it's actually going to allow us to get the age range for our players, gender, and then also their location. Just general location, such as city, state, country, that type of thing. This is going to do a few things for us. This is going to allow us to get some marketing information quickly and easily, so that way we can tailor some of our updates or expansions around our public, who it is that's playing our game. Now, one of our first hard targets for the release is that within the first 3 months, we want to reach 1 million downloads. That will help keep the game going, and that will also keep us on track for our second milestone, which is going to be that we have our first expansion to the game released at the 6-month mark. This will help keep us moving forward and hopefully keep our players engaged and keep them coming back for more. Now, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the platforms of the game that will be available at launch.
Joyce, I'm part of Hire Solutions Team D, and I'm going to talk about the platforms and resources needed to develop our game, Fallen from Grace. Our game, Fallen from Grace, is designed to be played on PCs, game consoles such as PlayStations, Xbox, and Wii, or on your smart device such as your iPhone or your Android. It is joystick compatible, cord and cordless hand controller compatible. Fallen from Grace comes standard in campaign mode, which is person versus computer, for those players who would like a solo play. It is internet compatible. You can connect to the internet via Ethernet cord or Wi-Fi. When you connect to the internet, it gives the player an opportunity for international play with a multitude of people worldwide. The players can use a Bluetooth to talk to teammates. Fallen from Grace is installed with 3D options, so if the player has 3D glasses, they can use them for their dimensional field. The tools and resources needed for the development of Fallen from Grace are FaceFX. FaceFX is an advanced facial animation that frees Hire Solutions from the difficulty of creating realistic dialogue and emotive characters. This is already pre-installed in the software. The Substance Engine tool allows us to reduce download size, boost streaming performance, and decrease loading times in the game. We can do this by giving the variable a specific value during the execution of the game. Another resource is SpeedTree. SpeedTree creates natural real-time forestry. It can create extraordinary lighting, physics, and wind effect, which is very defined when played in 3D mode. It has a software development kit that can be programmed to support any level of engine integration, which is great for the development of game sequels such as Fallen from Grace 2 and 3. Enlighten is a fully packed, full of saving workflow feature and is lightweight runtime. It is, quote, the only solution proven to develop to deliver fully dynamic lighting on today's PCs, game consoles, and mobile platforms. This is the software needed to give excellent lighting on all three devices, so it doesn't appear too dark if played on a cell phone. The PhysicsX tech is the world's most ubiquitous physics solution for designing real-time, real-world effects into interactive entertainment. The PhysicsX development gives us, the developers, extraordinary control over our final in-game interactivity. We are able to review every nook and cranny, inch-by-inch detail of the game to see if there are any changes that need to be made. Apex allows us to create intricate physics-enabled environments. We can expand the quality and visual quantity of the hero's objects, such as a shining sword, chrome shields, muscle definitions in the hero's arms, legible names across their chests, and the details of weapons. We can make smoke and other particle-based fluids. We can create lifelike clothing that interacts with the characters' bodies to achieve even more realism in our game. For example, if a character is wearing a watch, the Apex software allows us to diligently create a face with ticking time on it. Not bad, huh? Morpheme 4 is an animation tool that allows character motions to be controlled with the real-world inputs, such as movement speed and turning angles. It gives it a more realistic approach instead of looking like a mainstream computerized and robotic turns in old-school games. Our development of Fallen from Grace is exactly what today's gamers need for the growing technology in today's video games. Fallen from Grace is a never-before-played action hero game that gamers have been waiting for. It is interactive, trendy, and will be around for decades to come. The thought of heroes battling heroes is mind-blowing. Both boys and girls of all ages can play at home or on the go on a computer or a cell phone. With the help of my teammates LaKenya's ideas, Sean's skill levels, Donald's characters and rules, and me, Joyce, on the platforms and tools, you may have fallen from grace, but don't fall off your game. Know who's ready to play. Thanks.